Black here from Casa Black Gaming, where I get right to the point with all of my guides so you can get back out into the verse. Today I wanted to revisit the Anvil Arrow to offer up some different loadouts than the beginner friendly one I made a month or so ago. Remember to like, subscribe, and comment, and if you need more help or just want to chat about all things Star Citizen, consider joining our Discord channel. All links down below. Now with that out of the way, let's get to it. So the Anvil Arrow is a great ship, and you'll see many top streamers who specialize in combat flying it, and back a few months ago during Atmo's Fight or Flight tournament, you mostly saw Arrows or Gladiuses as the go-to ships for most teams. There's a reason for this. The Arrow is in a really good place right now, and almost all light fighters should be so lucky. I happen to own this ship, though it's through one of the loaners I have, and so I've been using it a lot the past few months. And while it's not my first choice every time I go out to do bounties, it's usually my second when my Gladius is on cooldown. So here is how I suggest you load this awesome light fighter out, and I'm giving you some options here. For the system components, which I always go with first in my videos, let's go ahead and start with the shields, to which I say grab the FR66s, which you can find at Cruel 1. These are the best shield you can grab for this ship, so just do it. Next up is the Quantum Drive, so I'm getting better about not calling them engines, and the one I prefer is the Atlas. It's fast, it will get you across the system faster than the others, so just get it and be happy. Now for the power plants, I say go with the JS300s, they will give you unlimited power. Well, not limitless, but enough to smoke some NPCs with. Now for the coolers, you can skip these, and my fancy rolling tally number thingy here is telling you how much you have spent thus far on system components, which are generally where the most of your upgrade budget's gonna go, as weapons are usually pretty cheap. Now if you absolutely insist on purchasing coolers, even though they're not doing much until the devs at CIG do a component revamp sometime whenever, then by all means grab 2 of the Glaciers, which you can find at Port Tressler. And your new rolling tally is being shown now, so grats on spending more money. I get it, maybe you'll get like a 0.005% cooler enhancement, which for y'all you min-maxers will keep you firing longer. Definitely no judgment here, since I happen to own quite a few coolers myself. Alright, so now let's get on to why you're really here, which isn't my mediocre voice or dad jokes, but for the weapons. Alright, so let's go ahead and start with a laser repeater build here first. For the remote turret, I suggest 2 of the CF117 Bulldogs, which you can pick up at Cruel 5. Laser repeaters are pretty much standard for the first few bounty tiers, and they'll do you very well. Now for the other 2 guns, I have an option for you. If you aren't an ace pilot and have trouble staying on target and landing ships, shots, might I suggest keeping those Verapux size 3s on the wings and using 2 size 2 CF227 Badgers, which you can also pick up at Cruel 5. Now these are more laser repeaters, which do not run out of ammo since they use energy instead, and being in gimbals means a swivel and will help you land more targets. Shots again. You still get those 2 CF117 Bulldogs on the remote turret, which means you will need to still land those hits yourself by lining up the shots to be in front of your ship. So you're getting some halfway help here, you're still going to have to do some of the work. Once you feel comfortable getting those shots lined up, and by the way, for help with getting better shots and just learning more about bounties in general, I have a great beginner's guide, which I'll link up at the end of this video just for you. Now anyway, once you get better, you can rip off those Verapux size 3 gimbals and replace those guns with 2 CF337 Panther laser repeaters, which you'll have to get at Hurrell 2, and these guns are just a size larger than what you had before, and so you can now use those flight skills to land more damage and take the training wheels off, so to speak. These guns will serve you well up through the first few tiers of the bounty rep lines, but what happens when you start to see bigger ships and a new struggle sets in? Well, your good old Fight Instructor Black has you covered. So probably around the MRT range, you've started to notice bigger ships. I generally hold off until the VRT range to switch up my guns, but the choice is yours. Laser cannons do more damage to those larger ships, but they are slow to fire, which is why I do not recommend them until the bigger ships arrive. Now for the nose turret, you'll want to swap those 2 for the FL11s, which you can find on Dumper's Depot on Port Olisar. As for the other 2 size 3 guns, you can swap those for 2 of the FL33s, also found on Port Olisar, so some one-stop shopping there. These should do well for you, and just remember that although your guns are bigger, you might have to rethink how you take these larger enemies on. Alright, so moving on to the missiles. You get 6 missiles stock, but I happen to prefer to change out my missile rack so I can have more than those 6. Of course, when you do this, you're having to downgrade the size of missile, but that's my choice, and one I do for every ship because more shots equals more chances in my book, and I hate running out of missiles or flying back every 2 to 3 bounties to restock. So if you want 12 missiles instead of 6, swap the missile racks for 2 of the MSD 221s and 2 of the MSD 341s, Then you'll need to purchase either 12 of the Task Force 1 electromagnetic missiles at Hurrell 2 or 12 of the Pioneer ones located at Hurrell 5. Now both of these are electronic missiles which currently are the best at landing hits on the targets and not being evaded as often as others, and the choice on which one of these you grab is just preference, as they're pretty much almost the same size 1 electromag missile. Now if you prefer the 6 missile loadout size 2s that come stock, then you'll need to at least pick up a few more Dominator 2 missiles at Hurrell 3 to complement those that come with it and replace whatever those other missiles were to electromags. And that's going to do it for this improved Anvil Arrow loadout. So let me know down below if you prefer this ship over the Gladius or just whatever you want to talk about. I enjoy hearing from you all and try to reply back to every message, which is easy when you're a smaller content creator. Remember to be kind to your fellow gamer, don't step on a crack because you'll break your mama's back, and stay positive, citizens.